Okay, my apologies for abruptly ending the last video. I was feeling a little embarrassed talking to myself on a phone when people were around. So, needless to say, I get why people do these in their cars. Now, the whole world is coming together. Okay, I want to, while a few things are fresh in my mind, give you some tips and tricks that I use or have learned. I am always happy to share. It sounds so cheesy, I know, but we really are stronger together. And I'm happy to share info with you. If you have questions, feel free just to write them in there. Hey y'all, hola, ¿cómo estás? Good to see you guys. Thanks for logging in. Okay, here's some of my tips and tricks for estate sales. First of all, the process, if you haven't been, they are different all over the US, and each one runs a little bit differently. But in general, it is at someone's estate or someone's house. They may or may not have died. They could just be downsizing, so it's not necessarily a sad occasion. When you get in there, things should be priced. The estate sale companies that I frequent do a really nice job of presentation and making sure that there's not nasty, dirty, gross things, used bed sheets in a corner, that kind of thing. So that is nice. It's somewhat prepped for you. And a lot of people make stashes in the estate sales where I am. So if you're finding stuff as you walk around, you can create a stash. This particular one has a little sign that says, "This is my stash, please don't touch." And you find a place in the house where you keep your stuff. Sometimes it happens where people don't realize it was in your stash and they take it, and I've never seen a fist fight break out or anything. That would actually be fun. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, because people do get really competitive, and like I said, the worst can come out in us in situations like that. And like I said, they had 100 people waiting in line this morning. Crazy. Good for them though, and good for business. So I think we need to see that in a positive light, especially if you're a reseller. Okay, at the register, a lot of them more modern now do take cards, but there are still some that only do cash, so make sure you have a lot of cash. And here's my process. So after, yeah, hola, from Chile, excellent. I used to speak Spanish. I don't anymore, really, but it was my major in college, so that's kind of embarrassing. But I'm glad to see Chile represented here. Muchas gracias. And okay, what was I saying? Oh, here's my particular process. So I put it in the back of my car, what I can fit. Generally speaking, you're limited to what you can fit in the car with you. Some of these places will allow you to come back oh, can I bring my truck back later? And they'll hold it for you for big pieces of furniture. I go home, and ideally within 24 hours, I will try to clean the product. I will inventory the product, which for me, I have a huge spreadsheet that my dear husband made me, where I inventory everything that I buy. And before, I don't want to basically forget what it is or where I got it or how much I paid for it. So what I do is for example, the Elvis record that I just showed you guys, I will go home, check it over, clean it up, and I'll inventory it. And I'm going to put Elvis record, I'll give it an inventory number, the date I bought it, how much I bought it for. At that point, I'll probably do a little bit of research on particular items just to see their current market value. And then I'll price it at what I consider to be a fair price. I want for vintage to be accessible to everyone. And so I'm not trying to gouge people out. Also, a little point here that I love to say when I have a microphone, but I don't have a microphone. And that is, okay, an eBay list price does not determine the worth of something. That is what anybody that could be totally cuckoo and thinks their Pyrex dish is worth $100,000. I don't know. There was this thing going around recently. You might have seen it because it's gotten a lot of attention, where someone posted a pretty generic Pyrex set for $3,000. Okay, that does not mean it's worth $3,000. Please do not buy that set for $3,000 if you aren't sure. Just because it's listed high doesn't mean anything. What it sells for is what's important, and then thinking about what will it sell for in your particular market. So my particular local market is not going to get the same price for something as California. Different standards of living, all that kind of thing. So I keep all of that in mind when pricing, and always try to give my customer a deal whenever I can, because that builds trust, and I want loyal customers, and you do too. And we want people to walk away feeling like they got something quality that was really unique for a really great price. And yes, you have to pay yourself. This is hard work. If you're in it, you know that. If you're not in it, you might think it's not that hard. It is a lot of work, and that you should be paid for that. So you don't have to feel bad for marking things up. But I do try to get a fair market value on it. And if I'm selling it online, obviously that's a different story. Okay, I had to look at my notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, at this particular estate sale, they didn't charge me for something, which is so awesome. I have to show you. Hang on. Let me see if I can get it. Thank you to everyone joining. It's really good to see you guys. I'm just talking about an estate sale that I just went to here in Arkansas. Okay, it's a keychain. Can you kind of see it? And then it's one of those, what do you call these things when like it moves and it changes? Oh, you see that cute little like hula dancer girl. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm probably going to keep it because I just think it's so cute. And I found myself buying these little trinkets like all the time. And I have a problem. But isn't that cute? Anyways, they didn't charge me for it. And little things like this, I had my stash. It got set aside. I kind of forgot about it. Then in the car, I was adding up in my head what I paid. And I said, oh my gosh, they did not charge me for this little cute little Hawaiian, whatever, lady, 1950 pinup girl. So I ran back in, paid for it. And obviously, that's nothing special. But just to say, you know, doing the right thing and treating people the right way is so important. And who we are always is more important than anything else. So, and I know that they really appreciate it. And again, that just builds trust with the people that you buy from. And that was fun. So just encouragement to do the right thing, boom, boom. Do y'all know that song? I forgot who sings it. Do it all the time, do it all the time. And it's true. It's a good motto. Thanks, Charles and Megan. What up? Good to see you guys on here. Okay, a few more tips and tricks with estate sales. I'm sharing some insider info. Okay, close, and you will read this if you start reading, is an often overlooked thing at estate sales. So one like this one where I can't get there early and I'm there late, and probably 300 to 400 people have been through that house before me. I always check closets, because when it's really crowded and people are frantic in that morning time, they look over stuff. And it just happens. If I get there early, I miss stuff. That is just how it is. So look in the closets. There can be some really neat, sometimes designer clothing. And as you know, if you've read the Asheford Institute survey that I posted about and I've recommended numerous times, vintage clothing for ages 20 to 40 was the fastest growing category in terms of sales. So get in it and get in the game and get on it. And estate sale closets, really great place to start. Normally they're priced pretty cheap, because it's hard to go through and price all that stuff if someone has a really big closet. Also, books. There are plenty of diggers. I have no doubt that of the 300 to 400 people that got there before me, there were lots of diggers, because if you're a digger, you like estate sales. But I always look through the books, magazines, like I showed you, and I found two really great ones. I was shocked that those were still there. 1969 Original Life magazines for the price that they were at. Also considering what that article said, that hopefully you are reading or will read, about anything space related, with like the, I know I'm getting these dates wrong. That is not my strength, but something like the 50th anniversary of some mission and the walking on the moon and la 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 la. And the floor, I have actually been surprised. Okay, the morning crowd tends to not look down. I don't know why, but this is the second time in a row I have found a super cool ottoman, like mid-century modern ottoman, just looking on the ground. There's something about when, and you can see in the video, I was able to film a few empty rooms, and there were still a lot of people there, but I tried to be respectful and not film with people in there. But when a room is not packed, there's just something about the levels that you can see better, and you look at the floor, and I got that really awesome mid-century modern ottoman, which I'm shocked didn't go already. And as I was walking out, a lady was like, "Ooh, that's cute. Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "Oh, in here." Actually, I don't think she asked me that, but it just felt right to say. Okay, the other thing is you will start seeing a lot of the same people at these, especially if it's locally. I saw another lady who's a vendor where I'm at, super sweet girl. And again, woman. And my attitude is always, we are better together. I want the people where I am to do well. If they are getting traffic to their booth or shop or whatever, that ultimately is good for me. Okay. A lot of these estate sales will do next days, and during the next days they do different discounts. So this one, probably starting at 7 a.m. tomorrow, everything will be 50% off. So if you have your eye on something but just don't quite want to pay that price, that's where you want to be in line the second day first, because it is kind of first come first serve at that point. I normally don't get to go back to these. Hey, thanks for all y'all joining. It's great to see you. Thank you. I'm giving some tips and tricks on some estate sales I just went to, and I encourage you to watch the previous videos beforehand to get a little more context. So, and I know that's true throughout the US with different discounts that estate sales do. You just kind of have to know it for your area. I generally don't go the next day because on Saturday is a day when my husband stays with my son, and I go out and source different cities, and I try to get away from local to find some really great vintage. Okay, last thing I want to say, that was kind of my process, kind of a few tips and tricks of what I have found work for me at estate sales. There's no, you can't return things, all sales are final, all that jazz. I take search requests. This is what I wanted to say. So if you live in New Jersey or California and you are looking for that certain Pyrex bowl that isn't $3,000 on crazy eBay, or a particular designer jacket, whatever it is, you can always email me, and I keep track and a list. The best thing that's helpful for me, because I'm always outsourcing. I am always outsourcing, and I go to Missouri, I'm in Arkansas, I'm in Oklahoma, I go to Kansas City a lot. So I'm kind of all over that little region, Little Rock. Send me a picture of something that you're looking for, or maybe it's something your mom is looking for, and then I find it for you, send it to you, and you just wowed your mom with like the best birthday gift ever, because it was her mother's butter dish that she broke 10 years ago and really, really wanted that same one in that same pattern. So anytime, send me an email. It's best if you give me a picture. I love seeing who just joined, and Alexander, you're so awesome. I just saw your picture. I hope I don't embarrass you by pointing you out, but I'm so curious what happened to you. And yes, that was a really cute picture. Okay. Anyways, I just love the people that in this community. That's a great chance to say that too. And you guys are all really awesome and encouraging. And what was I saying before I wanted to say hi to Alexander? Now I don't even remember. Oh, the search requests. So send me a picture, and send me, it's helpful to know around what you would be willing to pay for it. So if you are willing to pay somewhere in the ballpark of $20 for grandma's butter dish to give to your mom because she broke it, let me know that. So if I see a butter dish that's exactly the same for $40, I'm not going to buy it, because I don't want to lose money, obviously. But I love helping people, and we give a shout out to Alexander, who got his wisdom teeth out. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I still have my wisdom teeth, 4 of them, and I am old. They were the only teeth in my mouth that came in perfectly straight. I had huge buck teeth as a kid. I had like 7 retainers. I had to wear, sorry, there's allergies here. My nose keeps running. This is stuff you don't need to know about me, but every other, tooth came in crooked, and I had braces forever, except my wisdom teeth. The ones that can actually come out. Anyways, thinking of you, buddy. And